Hi guys! It is the beginning of the month, meaning it is time for another TBR video. For this month, we decided to throw it back to when we did the TBR jar, which is obviously what you saw with the title. But we wanted to do a little bit of a twist to give the vibe of the spooky in October and be all in season. So we decided that we are going to be doing TBR jar with the fun addition of making it spooky themed. We're going to be giving the jar a little bit of a makeover. As you can see, this is all the stickers from when we first did the TBR. So we have like there's flowers and stuff like that. And while this is cute, the stuff that we use to do it is kind of falling apart. Like, I don't know if you could see, it's kind of lifting. So the jar has been in the need of some TLC kind of since we first made it. It was always like a not a for sure fix. So we had put some tape on it to try to like make the stickers last, but it's time for them to go. And we have since printed out some really cute stuff that we saw on Pinterest. So part of the transformation is not only changing the outside, we are also going to be changing the inside. So we have Sam, my wonderful assistant, going through and redoing a lot of the sticks in here. So she's doing more of like spookier themed. So we have things like more fantasy stuff. We have things as like dark covers, things like that to try to bring in more of the spooky vibe. And I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to start taking apart this jar to be able to reuse it. So we're probably just going to keep these to the side and we'll reuse them again when it's no longer spooky season. But I want to use this jar again because I feel like after we used it, I kind of felt not 110% happy with it. So I'm really excited to be doing this now. So I'm going to do this and then I will hit you back up when the jar is fresh, clean slate, because now I feel like I might have to scrub the outside of this jar because now the stickers are starting to stay, of course. So I'll be back. Okay, the jar is completely cleaned off. I actually managed to get a lot of the gunk off. I ended up just using a wipe to get the remaining gunk off and it did a pretty good job. If you didn't see us making this jar or that whole video, it was my July TBR video, I think. It was super fun to make this. We ended up just getting this from Hobby Lobby. The jar's from Hobby Lobby. So are the sticks and so were those stickers. I feel like the reason that they didn't work as well is because they were more like cardboard, like 3D almost, rather than just being pieces of paper that were easy to fold. So this time we're just doing regular pieces of paper and we're gonna tape them on and hope that it works. Here are the photos that we have. I figured I'm gonna show you. I was gonna kind of do the same kind of vibe where it's like a bunch of different photos and we're gonna see how these all fit because I kind of printed them a little too big, but I don't want to reprint them and waste the paper. So we're gonna see what we can do. But the first one is this really cute little thing of the ghosts. Like one of them is reading, the other one's drinking like either coffee or tea or something, and they have a kitty. Like I just feel like it was so cute. And then down here we just have the word Halloween in like a really pretty orange background. And then over here I love like black cat energy, and so we have a little black cat, says the familiar on it. And then this little shelving I thought was really cute and like gave the Halloween vibes with all the pumpkins and the skeletons and stuff. And then I just printed out this spooky looking bat because I feel like it gives kind of like the dark academia vibe. So that's what we have to work with. We're gonna see how this goes because again, I have no idea if these photos are too big or not. So I'm gonna do that and then I'll get back to you. All the pictures are on. Now the only thing is that I ended up having problems again with getting things to stick to this jar. I don't know if it's because it's glass or if I'm using all the wrong things. The tape wasn't sticking, the photos were too big. The tape that I switched to, which is like glue tape, started to it ran out, so I couldn't use that anymore. And I just feel like the biggest problem is like the curves of the jar, and so I don't know, maybe next time I do this, I'll have an easier time. And maybe I'll do like a lot of small stuff so that it's not having to bend like as much. I feel like that would be like the best way. But I ended up just grabbing glue dots. We have this little like glue dot, what is it called? Dispenser. And that seemed to help the most out of everything because I'm just going through and individually sticking like a little glue dot wherever the pictures are coming up, and that seems to help the most. But again, I don't think this is by any means a long-term solution. By the end of spooky season, I'm sure it'll hold up long enough, and then we'll redo it again, maybe for like the holiday time. Now let me close this up and I'll give you a full showing of how cute our little jar is, because I genuinely feel like it came out really well aside from the nonsense. So here it is. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. Give you a little close-up. So we have like the Halloween, then the bat, and it goes into like that little kitty thing, the ghosties in bed, and then that little shelving, and it goes back around again. So again, I feel like the pictures were a little too big, and that's why I was having a hard time with getting them to stay, because of like the bending of the jar. But overall, I feel like it turned out really nice. I feel like it is such a cute little vibe and will look good next to all of our other spooky stuff that we have over there. So now that we have those, Sam actually, while I was doing that, she finished all of our spooky themed popsicle sticks, which is really nice. So I'll go through and show you all of the options. We have fantasy, black cover, Sam picks, Ariana picks, less than 350 pages, the longest, a new author for us, start a series, animal on the cover, continue a series, and overall spooky vibe. Sam did a wonderful job on all the things. She put a lot of effort into it for you guys, because she's been sitting here trying to get like all the different fonts and stuff, like writing out little fonts. So that was really cute of her. Appreciate that the mostest. I'm trying to make sure that they're all facing down so that we can't see. We're gonna only pick 6 books because I just feel like doing too many books like in the TBR can be kind of overwhelming, and so I feel like 6 is kind of the sweet spot, because we normally read around 10 books a month, and I feel like giving us a couple books for mood reading definitely keeps us from feeling like too constricted with our reading choices while still trying to challenge ourselves and get through our TBR. So definitely keeps us accountable enough. So I do recommend doing a monthly TBR. I just recommend being realistic with yourself and giving yourself that wiggle room, because I know that if we had done our entire monthly TBR, like all the books that we're going to read for that month only, I don't think we'd be able to stick to it. So I like doing just these. Before we get into the jar, I'm going to put this to the side because I do have a haul. We've been slowly but surely trying to create a big haul without necessarily going out and buying a big haul at once. So I highly recommend doing that. Like as you're seeing books, grabbing them. We've been going to a lot of different half-price books in our area, like multiple locations, to try to find some, and we've definitely found a decent amount of these, which I'll say where we got them while I'm going through them. I'm a little out of breath. First thing, we have The Girl in Red, Alice and Lost Boy by Christina Henry. These are all retellings. So we have Lost Boy, which is like a Peter Pan retelling, Alice, which is Alice in Wonderland retelling, and then The Girl in Red is a Red Riding Hood. As I've told you many times, I really love Alice in Wonderland, and so we've been wanting to read some darker or just different retellings of some classic stories, because I feel like it's super fun to see like what other people do with the story, and they're all like super small, which is nice because I feel like it's good to have like a nice quick story. They're all less than 300 pages, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I feel like we have such hefty books sometimes. So we got these all, actually, like literally all 3 of them in one go from Half Price Books, and they were all like between $5 and $8 each, I'm gonna guess. So super nice. I really recommend going to Half Price Books, and if you have multiple locations, I recommend looking around, because each Half Price Books that we've seen definitely has a different genre that they have the most of. So like we'll go to one specifically for like looking in their fantasy section. Other ones have really good like teen YA sections, but you can get some really good quality stuff. Like the books that I'm showing you, they're normally like 18. Yeah, this says 16, but at Barnes it's like 18 or 19. Going off of that, we have Daisy Hates The Great Undoing by Jessa Hastings. This is a continuation of the Magnolia Parks universe. This was Barnes & Noble. Next we have The Only One Left by Riley Sager. We wanted to try out more mystery thrillers, and we saw this book in a recommendations video, I think by Sarah C on YouTube, booktuber, and so we decided, I think that was her.
I think so.
I think it was her. I could be wrong. One of her most recent recommendation videos, so it piqued our interest, and we normally aren't super into mystery thrillers, so we got it. This was, you just saw I ripped off the sticker. It was from Half Price Books, and it was, should have done this before I got rid of the sticker, $8.99, and the book is normally $18. Like, that is insane. And it's like in really good condition. I'm such a half-price book stan. My mom was the one that first made me like super into it, and now I'm really obsessed. So next we have The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. This is book 2. The first one is A Deadly Education. A lot of dark academia vibes in here. We kind of had a little bit of a hard time going through the first one, but at the end it kind of like sucked us back into the series, so we wanted to give this another try. But we got this from Barnes & Noble, and it was actually like a really crispy, like so brand new edition. We were really excited when we found it. Next, Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. This is from Half Price Books. Again, a really good copy. Next, Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. This is another author that we've been really wanting to give a try, and we've specifically been looking for his stuff at Half Price Books because there's a lot of a selection. We were just waiting for like a good copy to come into stock, which we ended up finding with this copy. It looks like basically brand new. Next we have Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book after Ninth House. Again, we read this in the same Dark Academia video as The Deadly Education, and we're really excited to finish this. I wasn't trying to buy this book for a while because I find the cover absolutely disturbing, but then someone commented, Kara Girl, that she really liked it, and I felt the pressure to read it because I've heard from her, obviously, and just like assuming because the first book was really good that this was really good, but I just have to get over the creepy, like the bunny looks like wet and gross. I just for some reason it's like haunting me, this cover. I don't know why. We got this from Barnes. Next we have Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is number 2 in the Caravel series. We are only reading this because we really want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart, and we are trying to get through the series because they tell you that you should read the Caravel series first, and even though we really don't like the Caravel series, I mean the beginning, the Caravel, like the first book, we just felt so averagely about, so we're trying to just like push through and hope, because a lot of people say the second one is better, that we can just get through it because we want to do it right. But I think this might be a tough one to get us to read, so we're putting it in here in hopes that the TBR picks it for us. But this was Barnes. Next we have The Devil in the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. Oh, our favorite author in the whole world. We got this from Half Price Books, but it's super funny because there's the Half Price sticker, and then underneath it is actually one of those, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to rip it off without it sticking. Yeah. Underneath is one of those buy one get one 50% off Barnes & Noble stickers. It's funny that they didn't take it off, and it also just goes to show that like it's brand spanking new, you know what I mean? Like they didn't even take the sticker off before they like read it and got rid of it. But the copy is super great, and we were waiting again to find this at half price because this book is technically on Kindle Unlimited, and so we've always had access to being able to read it, but we want a physical copy just for like our collection's sake and because we love this author. This is the only book by him that we have not read. The other ones are 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle and The Last Murder at the End of the World, and we rated those both very highly, so I'm really excited to read this. The only thing that's a little worrisome is the synopsis doesn't like make me super intrigued. That's why we ended up skipping this one in the first place, but because this was the second book to come out by him, I'm hoping that we just fall in love with it because of his writing. Next, this is probably the book that Sam's the most excited about because she actually picked this without, it makes it sound like she's a child, but normally I'm the one that's picking all the books. And it's not because Sam has no say, but it's because
I'll just go with the flow.
She's very go with the flow, and if someone's gonna feel strongly about something, it's gonna be me. And so normally if I like it, she 9 times out of 10 also likes it. So normally I'm the one that is first picking up the book, and then she reads it and says like if she's into it or not, but she found this all by herself.
I did.
It is The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig. This is like a newer book. This is a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, and we ended up getting it because, well, one, it was a good looking edition. When you are looking for like new books, obviously like if you're trying to get new books, like treat yourself, get a new book, I highly recommend going in the YA section and looking in their fantasy because their hardcovers are a lot cheaper in YA, or YA is just cheaper in general. But like if smut isn't something that you really care about that much, I really do recommend looking in the fantasy section of YA because I feel like that's where the things are the closest to like adult literature you're gonna get, and it's for so much cheaper. Like the difference between $25 or $30 book versus like 12, 15, 20, like it makes a difference, especially if you're buying multiple copies. So highly recommend looking in the YA section, but this was on a table on its own. I'm really glad that we ended up getting a good copy because I feel like by the time that you end up hearing about books, all of the super exclusive copies are gone by that point because they've already been bought up by all the people that discovered the books. So
I think it got released earlier this week actually.
Yeah, so it's super new, but when we looked it up, it had like a 4.28 or something like that.
Yeah.
rating, so that's pretty cool. And this author does have other books out, so hopefully we like this and we can read other ones. And then the last book in our haul is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This is another book that was in that video by Sarah, who, like, when she was recommending a lot of books for the fall. This is a humongous book. It's kind of satisfying, and the words are honestly like kind of big, so I love that. Another YA book that was like, this is brand new from Barnes & Noble, and it was only $14. I say only, even though books are so expensive. Like, don't take that as I just am throwing money in the air. Like, every time we buy a book, I'm like, eh. This, we were actually looking for it for a while in half price, and we just couldn't find the right edition because they've recently been rolling out these covers, and so all of the old covers are in half price, but then they're rolling out all the new ones, and so the ones that are at half price, which is like such a small, like, dumb thing to care about, but all the ones at half price have like the people on the cover, and whenever they come out with a new way for the cover to look, I'm always worried that they're gonna have changed something in the story, because sometimes they'll like take out a chapter or they'll change something when they're like republishing. So we just went to Barnes and got the new edition. Okay, I needed to deliberate with Sam to figure out what books we were doing from Kindle Unlimited, but the ones that we've decided to also put in the running with these ones, we have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith, Ghosted by J.M. Darhauer, Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, and Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. Ooh, what about Belladonna?
Oh, yeah, we want to read that soon.
And Belladonna. There's so many books, guys. Now we're going to move over, probably to a different location because I'm sick of sitting right here, and do the official drawing. So, off we go. We're gonna do this just, I pick 3, she picks 3, one after the other, and see what we get. I don't want to look because you can technically see.
What you choose?
Continue a series. My little arms can't take it. Continue a series. I don't think any of the ones in Kindle Unlimited are continuing a series.
No.
So none of the ones in Kindle Unlimited are allowed. But
what we got? Just, I think you just have 3 options.
Yeah. It's already not looking good. We have Hellbent, The Last Graduate, and Legendary as the 3 to choose from.
I don't know which one I'd choose.
I know you want Hellbent, but I think I want to get through Legendary.
Do what you gotta do.
Because I really want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart. Like, it has been bothering me that I want to read it, and we've owned it for so long.
We have owned it longer than we've owned Caravel series.
Yes. So I think I'm gonna have to pick Legendary, even though I'm not super excited about it. But we have to keep going through it. So Legendary is the first pick.
We must. New author.
Oh.
I think I wanted that Riley Sager book.
Oh, you knew right away.
Yeah. Or do we gotta do this guy? Well, he's gonna be good for spooky. Well, no.
What if
Will you choose him? No.
You cannot put this on me. You cannot put this pressure on me, and don't forget all the Kindle Unlimited books.
Well, I think the 13th Child and the whole new one left are the ones I'm excited about.
What are you picking? We'll show them. Now look at the size difference. But then it's like, this gives the mystery thriller. This is one you've been super excited about, and hand selected.
I don't know. Because I'm going to be sad if this doesn't get chosen, but I'm also going to be sad if this doesn't get chosen. Like, I want them both. But this one could get chosen in the spooky. But this one, I guess it kind of is spooky.
I find this spooky. I think this is dark, but I find this like creepy. But babe,
let's do this one.
You're picking this one?
Yeah.
Alright, the 13th Child is pick number 2. Okay, these are 2 hefty books, so we need to pick something skinny real quick. I'm trying to shake it up without like ripping off all the paper on the side.
Oh. What?
Animal on the cover.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, this creepy book is bad. Okay, we have these 3 physically.
And then
we also have
the Witcher, the
Heartless Hunter has a butterfly on front, which is a witch book. Or one of these, but I feel like I have to do one of these Christina Henry books. And I feel like I have to do Alice. I feel like I have to. It's my whole brand. And you should have seen, I was beaming when we got these books. Like, I've been wanting them so bad, and I kept telling her that I wasn't going to get them because they were so expensive from Barnes. Like, I just kept telling myself I'd wait until there was like a for sure reason that we were going to read them soon, and I was leaving them to the side and I wasn't getting them, and then we found them. So I have to.
Fantasy.
Oh, that's specific.
Okay, so this is not fantasy. What's this? That's not fantasy either.
Oh yeah, they're magical. They're messing with magic.
Okay, so you consider that fantasy?
But I would consider it like urban fantasy, because it's like real day to day.
And then we have Phantasma.
Phantasma, Heartless Hunter, Ghosted isn't.
And neither is Belladonna. Belladonna's the death. Yeah, that's definitely fantasy.
Yeah. You're getting the hard ones. I feel like I have such a small selection and you have like all the options.
I think I'll choose Belladonna.
Ooh, okay. Kindle Unlimited option, but that's another good YA. So, and at the end, I'll tell you what all these are about so that you know. But Belladonna is the 4th pick. Great. Are you like peeking?
I want to know too.
Oh, I keep picking them up like flipped. I swear, because we have Ariana picks and Sam picks, and if I get Sam picks, I'm gonna be so mad right now. Do you see that? Do you see that nonsense? What? What?
The fact that you just said that and...
We have this little running joke that I have like a 6th sense.
Yes, she does. It's facts and just another way to prove it.
I'm so mad right now. Whatever. Carry on.
I want the Riley Sager book, so...
Oh, perfect. You ended up getting all the books you want. I'm not mad though. I got Alice.
And we've been wanting to read Belladonna. And you had your legendary.
How did I know?
You chose that.
How did I don't want that. I'm just doing it because we need to get to the Woods of a Broken Heart. I can't believe it. I knew that was going to happen. I literally called it.
Spooky.
I mean, the other ones are
It's
like...
a murder mystery. I wouldn't call it spooky. But like, I guess.
You wouldn't call a murder mystery spooky?
I guess, yeah. I guess I'm thinking more in terms of like Halloween spooky, not necessarily like...
Creepy?
Yeah, but that is creepy.
You're the one that got rid of your spooky pick.
Is there one that you'd prefer?
I officially am done picking.
I feel bad. I stole your
The energy
thing.
has spoken. The universe told me no. This is why I choose all the books, by the way, because you see what's happening over here? I do have one that I prefer.
Phantasma.
Okay. That's what you're picking?
Yeah. What do you prefer?
Phantasma.
Oh, okay.
Time for the lineup. First we have The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This is about basically way back when this girl is the only survivor and her whole entire family gets killed. Everyone kind of thinks that it was her, but they can't quite say anything because she doesn't ever give like any too incriminating evidence, I suppose. Years later, she's an older woman. She's getting taken care of by a caretaker, and she says, okay, hey, I'll finally say something about it. And the caretaker is like, oh, okay, I'll hear your story. And then she's like, wait a minute, you're kind of creepy and sketchy. It kind of reminds me of Silent Patient, how the woman like finally started talking. So I'm curious to see if it follows that vibe or like that ending. Next, we have Alice by Christina Henry. This is a Alice in Wonderland retelling. It's about this woman who gives like the Alice vibe. She is in a hospital and she can't really quite remember, but all she has is like these flashes of what happened in the regular Alice in Wonderland story. They have the Mad Hatter, the Tea Party, stuff like that, and then she escapes. Next is The 13th Child. Again, Aaron A. Craig. This book...
Oh, there's this girl who has the ability to kind of like sense a cure for like any kind of disease that she encounters. The only problem with that is she also can sense when death has marked somebody, so she can know when someone's like about to die, basically. And then she meets like this king, and she finds out that he's marked to die. So she chooses to defy death.
Next is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. Again, number 2 in the Caraval series. This is following Donatella's story. Scarlet and Donatella are 2 sisters. In the first book, they're going to Caraval, and Donatella actually gets taken as part of the games, and now this is just her side of everything that happened, and I believe a little bit of going forward, or it's just everything in her side again. I'm not quite sure, but everyone says it's supposed to be better, so hopefully it is. And then in the Kindle Unlimited side of things, we have Belladonna, which she's looking up right now because I can't quite remember what that's about. Basically, with Belladonna, she ends up forming an alliance with Death himself because of stuff that's going on in her family, and so you're kind of just following her interacting with Death. So then Phantasma, again, it's like a Caraval and Throne of the Fallen mixture where you're kind of trying to go through this deadly competition, but the thing that makes it is there's a necromancer and a dangerous phantom working together. The main female character, Ophelia, is trying to save her sister, which is where they get the Caraval from, and the competition is Throne of the Fallen side. So we really liked Throne of the Fallen, and we didn't love Caraval so much, so I'm very curious to see if we actually like it. So that is the lineup. I appreciate you so much. Thank you guys for watching, and bye!